Sometimes, sometimes I feel a sensation of undescribable words, undescribable rhythms when I find myself lost in these chasms.
It's the open source radio show. The status of the title is work in progress. I haven't finalized it yet. It's free radio. It's for you. It's for me. And for everybody else around the world that's interested in tapping into the frequency that we trying to push over here. So yeah, enjoy.
Mm-hmm. Do doom 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 doom. All right. All right. All right. All right. All right. All right. Yeah, man. Welcome to the radio show. The open source radio show that is. Title status, work in progress. Haven't finalized the name on it yet. I have been told that the title should basically stay as it is due to the open format that the show has. To which I've said, okay. Yeah, I think I'm cool with that. I ain't tripping. Yeah, that's about it, man. Apart from that, haven't really made an episode of the radio show over the past couple of days due to not so much logistical constraints, because that's not really a complication, but it's been primarily it has to do with the fact that I just haven't had anything to say. So that's about it. I just haven't had anything that I really felt was necessary to speak on. And so yeah, that was it. That was literally it. I had nothing to say and I was like, cool, man. And then yeah, I just chilled and I was like, cool. That was it. That was literally it. Yeah. Yeah. Just chilled. So obviously after like my 2 days nyana, I was like, alright, bit. Got some more things to speak about. So that's like a format that I've kind of decided on with the show, is that like I'll only do the show when I have something to talk about. There's no point in like me doing the show if like I have nothing to really bring. Does that mean that in future there will be stints where there won't be a lot of episodes or whatever? Yeah, probably. You know what I mean? That's how that shit works, because that's just the way it be. Even with streaming, niggas was like streaming last week, and I remember I went one day where I was like speaking a lot, and then the next day when I did like a stream, I didn't have anything to say because I felt like I had said everything that needed to be said, which might be counterintuitive as far as some people are concerned, because it's like, wait, aren't you? Isn't the whole purpose to be as like entertaining or as talkative as possible? And it's like, yeah, sure, but like, you know, I don't know about y'all, but I don't be speaking all the time. You know what I mean? Especially now that niggas is older. Yeah, I don't be doing all that shit. It's cold as fuck out here, bro. Yo. Um, but we do actually have an episode for today. We do have a program, if you will, for the day. As the title suggests, Wacky Wednesday, right? So yeah, thought it would be a cool pun. Don't knock it before you try it. The need for practice as someone who didn't practice all that much, and surpassing your own expectations. This is actually not the episode I was supposed to do. This is actually it's not the topic card that I was supposed to pick for today. But I figured it would make sense to pick this one given a call I actually had before doing the show. So I was on a call with like one of my homies. We play a lot of fighting games, and we were having one of our great fighting game philosophy debates. So the debate basically had to do with I guess some stuff that's going on in like our local scene, and some of the dynamics that we think are present, and the reasons behind like those dynamics. So basically talking about why don't players all play against each other? Why don't they just show each other all the tech and whatnot? And we went back and forth, and then it turned to some other shit where it kind of became this thing of like, what is the reason that you play, like fighting games, or at least like the specific fighting game that we're playing. So we both play Street Fighter. So yeah, it became a thing of like, what are you playing for? Do you play because you enjoy it, or do you play only to win? So my whole thing was like, I play and only have a good time when I'm winning. And then his whole thing was like, nah, it's fun to me and da 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 da. So we were going back and forth about the whole thing. And then one of the topics that we kind of brushed over was the need for like practice, and also trying to learn or stop certain things from occurring, or how to deal with like certain things that might affect you when you're like fighting against other people. So I talked about like how I've been like looking into different characters and how to stop certain things that they can do. And he was talking about how like, yeah, that shit is kind of boring, da 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 da, which is a perfect segue for this opening topic, which is called "Don't Knock It Before You Try It." So currently, I am in master rank in the game, and to put it into perspective, there are how many ranks in the game? There is rookie, there is iron, there's bronze, there's silver, there's platinum, and then diamond, and then lastly master rank. So master rank is like, of the base ranks that are in the game, it's the highest base rank that you can get to in the game. It's the highest one. Is it actually the highest rank in the game? No. There are like splits when you get to like master rank. There are like higher ranks you can get to. So there's high master, grand master, ultimate master, and then lastly legend, which is basically top 500. In like shooting games, you get top 500. Legend rank is basically top 500. So that was my rank. That's my rank, right? And then he is in diamond rank. So he's not too far off from like getting to master rank. He's like very, very close. And like, yeah, man, we were kind of just having this conversation, and like, yeah, I guess his attitude was more lax than mine is. Albeit, niggas got different shit going on in their lives, so whatever. But yeah, the crux of it was basically me just thinking to myself in that conversation that we had the whole time that like, bro, you know what I mean? You talking about some shit, and it's like, yo, you haven't even tried implementing some of these things as far as like what you could do, what you could be practicing, etc., etc., etc. And I remember sitting there just like thinking to myself, I'm like, man, you gotta start trying this shit. You know what I mean? You gotta start trying to like get yourself like just over the fucking hedge that is like getting to this like lost rank. Um, that shit certainly isn't easy. You know what I mean? I think also to put it into even more perspective, niggas have been playing this game since it came out. So it came out. This game came out like 2022 or like 2023. It's been out for a while. So it's like what we're in season. What season are we in right now? I think we're in season 4. Yeah, I think we're in season 4. So it's been 4 years basically since the game came out. And yeah, it's been a whole lot of grinding, man. I ain't gonna lie, it's been a whole lot of grinding. Niggas started from the bottom. Niggas started from iron, and then gradually went from iron. Gradually went from rookie to iron to bronze, silver, gold, platinum. In the process of like breaking through in each of these ranks was like different. You know what I mean? Each having more complexity than like the last. But the one thing I will say that I see in fighting games, because this is the first time also I've ever had like the highest rank in a game. At least in like an online competitive game, it's the first time I've ever hit like the highest rank or the highest base rank you could get in the game. And what I saw during that time was that like with fighting games, I guess because it's only you controlling your character, a lot of the improvement that you make in the game is very like tangible and like obvious. Which is something I find other kinds of team oriented games don't have, that because you're very much at the mercy of the people that you're playing with, as opposed to it being solely a thing of like you can really dictate everything that's happening, at least as far as like your ability to improve and see the results for it. But yeah, that's just a separate tangent I want to go to for that. The reason why I actually have this topic has nothing to do with games actually, but it's adjacent. So what had happened was I was scrolling on YouTube, right? I had load shedding, I think it was yesterday. So I was like going through my downloaded videos on YouTube, whatever. So I had a bunch of videos that I downloaded from like a while ago, but I hadn't gotten around to like watching them. So yesterday, after like studying whatever, I was like, hey, let me actually like get into some of these videos. So instead of watching like the usual stuff I watch, which is like fighting game related content or philosophical stuff or whatever the hell, I had this video where this guy was talking about like techniques for like dancing. Right? So he was talking about like techniques that you can apply, like basic foundational drills that you could apply like when it comes to like dancing and whatever. And then I was just watching the video and like looking at this bro like explaining everything about like dancing, well, not everything about dancing, but everything related to the specific dance style that he was talking about and the specific foundation thing that he wanted to like get into. I remember watching it and it looked kind of silly. You know what I mean? It looked kind of silly, and he was talking about how like, you can like switch it up, you can play with the tempo, all of this kind of shit. And then I remember thinking to myself when I was watching the video, I was like, man, this shit kind of looks a bit stupid, bro. This shit probably look goofy as hell. I'd probably look dumb if like I did this shit. Lo and behold, man, a couple hours later, the next day, I was pacing up and down the house. So I have a thing recently because I'm like stressed out about exams and like other shit and whatever. I have a habit of like pacing up and down the house, and like to give perspective on how crazy that shit is, I walked 10,000 steps, right? So I woke up at like 7 in the morning, and by 12 midday I'd already taken 10,000 steps in the house. This is just me walking up and down like the passage and whatever to the lounge and coming back and whatever. So I was doing that shit the whole day. And it's something that I've like pretty much the whole day I've just been pacing up and down the house when I'm not like sitting down or like busy with some other shit and whatever. So anyway, at some point I decided, hey, let me do some of the stuff that the guy was talking about, some of those like foundational drills from the video. So I chilled there, I'm doing that shit, and I'm like, oh, and I'm like switching it up, whatever. I'm adjusting my levels. If you know, you know. It's elite ball knowledge there. Know anything about switching up your levels or adjusting your levels? You know what I'm talking about. So anyway, I was like adjusting my tempo and whatever, messing around with it. And I realized, oh, like this shit is actually, it's not as goofy as I thought. Like it actually makes a lot of sense. And there really is quite a lot you can do as far as variation, even with like a simple technique that you're doing when it comes to like dancing. And then I was like, damn, okay, you know what I mean? I definitely was knocking it before I tried it, but now that I've tried it, I'm like, oh, this shit is actually like proper. This, like, it makes a lot of sense to like approach the whole form this way. And I also seen another tutorial on YouTube about finger drumming. So I have an MPK Mini. For those that don't know what it is, it's just a fucking MIDI keyboard, bro. And like anyway, it has these like squares on it that you can like tap to like make sounds on a drum kit and whatever. Anyway, that was another thing also that I was like, hey bro, how the hell do you get like basic rhythms down when it comes to like making drums? Because I've realized I am the kind of person that's very receptive to like tutorials. Since I've played a lot of games, I'm definitely the kind of person that's more receptive to learning about things in the form of like a tutorial or getting a baseline understanding, and not really like freestyling and doing everything like self-taught or whatever. So there was that. And then yeah, whatever. I watched the video, I saw some techniques there, and I was like, oh, cool. There will be a time when I get around to producing and whatnot. I'm gonna get to it. And then I also realized that like it's all just practice, really. It's just practice. Which is a perfect segue for the next topic, which is the need for practice from someone that didn't practice all that much. So I'm so glad that I've been talking about like fighting games and practice in different things, because it goes perfectly into this next topic, right? So a lot of times when you see someone have skill, my perspective on skill or someone being competent at something is a measure of their practice. I think competence is just a measure of like your practice. And it's like if you asked me, okay, how did you get to the highest rank in Street Fighter? It's like, yo, hella practice, hella time playing the game. You know what I mean? Because each rank has, for example, a specific things that you could learn how to do that are like, I would argue, essential for being able to progress through that rank like smoothly. So for example, when you're in rookie up until gold, all you're trying to learn your character is like basically what all of their normals or what all of their buttons can do, what all of your special moves can do, and what their use cases are. And then you also want to discover what type of system mechanic can you use to add on top of your normals to make your normals or your specials harder to deal with. That's like a basic thing that you learn in those ranks. Once you try to progress from gold into platinum, I would argue you are going to start needing to know basic strings. Doesn't have to be advanced strings, but you're going to have to start learning about some basic strings. And start getting a small idea of how to like defend against attacks. You don't have to use something advanced like parrying or whatever. You can just learn some basic techniques. And then once you hit diamond, now combos have to get a bit more complex. And then you also need to start having more solid defense, like be able to deal with people jumping on you. And and manage your meter and your resources, and also be able to start stopping obvious mistakes that people make. And then to push past that to get into master rank, you're just honing in on now, for example, even your own like openings or flaws in the way you play. So just reducing it, making it that you have less obvious openings with how you play. So yeah, and then once you get to master rank, you're just doing the same shit. You're just like, honing in on it even more. So anyway, what does that have to do with practice? It has everything to do with practice. All that shit is just, yeah, dog. It's just hella practice. Practicing combos, practicing confirms, practicing reactions, all that shit. Watching other people play, seeing what you can learn from them. Whole lot of practice. The MIDI that I brought up, same shit. It's an instrument, treated as such. Writing songs, anything. It's just a measure of practice. Even cooking, it's like, yo, you don't have to be goddamn. You don't have to be talented, but it's like, yo, it is gonna require some practice though. If you're not, if you want to be like competent at it. So, why is it important that you should practice? I guess I'll give my personal take on it, obviously. But my personal take on why it's important that you practice is to firstly just to become competent at the thing. You know what I mean? Obviously, if you don't care about it, then don't fucking practice. But if you do want to become competent at something, you're gonna have to put time into becoming competent at it. Now, how long that's gonna take depends on you and what you're trying to learn and your propensity towards it. Some things will just naturally come easier to you and other ones won't. You know what I mean? You might find that like I don't know, playing the violin is easy, but you might struggle to play drums. But you can play the violin like pretty well, and you don't struggle to like learn how to play violin and all that. So yeah. That's the importance of practice. And I feel like in all the time that I've been playing like Street Fighter, niggas was stuck in like diamond and platinum rank for the longest time. You know what I mean? Like it's I would argue like most, if not like majority of the game was probably spent with me in plat and diamond. The final push to master, honestly, it could have probably been done sooner than like recently or like now. It could have been done sooner than that. Not way sooner, you know what I mean? But like it definitely could have been done like much sooner than now. But it didn't happen because I wasn't practicing. You know what I mean? Like I was just playing the game, but I wasn't like really thinking of like, what am I doing? How do I really improve at this? I kind of just hit a wall, and I didn't even have like a character I was like honed in on, which is also a conversation for another day. But like, yeah, niggas weren't practicing. You know what I mean? Niggas weren't practicing, and yeah, as such, I felt like I wasn't getting any results or seeing any improvement. You know what I mean? But yeah, when niggas started taking like the practice shit seriously, honing in on one character as opposed to playing like multiple. So I have like what I have at this point is 3 characters in master. But yeah, I started honing in on like only one character. It took me a long ass time to get to this point though. I used to play like a lot of different characters. But yeah, that's the gist of it. And yeah, niggas put the practice in, did all of the stuff to improve, and I'm still doing it even now. You know what I mean? And yeah, I can definitely say that I see the fruits of all of that. A sub-bar or a branch off of the topic, which is also just adjacent, is surpassing your own expectations. You know what I mean? Goes back to like the practice thing, man, where sometimes even in the pursuit of like your practice, You don't even have to necessarily set like a goal of like you don't even sometimes have to have a specific goal, or sometimes you might find that you can achieve your goal faster than you expected just by like honing in on like practice or striving really towards the goal. You know what I mean? Um which I think is like very fucking important. Um yeah. At least if you want to get good at something or whatever, if you want to get competent at the shit, then yeah. Um, yeah, man. Yeah. So that's pretty much it, man. Um, you'd be surprised at your ability and your capabilities. If you just push yourself, I think also, your approach and your mindset can also influence like um how easy it is to expedite the learning process or the process of practice. So ideally, if you have an open mind to like what you're practicing, it might be easier to like get around to the concepts, especially if the concepts are like very open ended and like vague, and not really like something that's set in stone. It can be easier if you apply an open brain to it. Um, yeah. Is it the only way to approach the task that you want to get competent at? No, it's not. You know what I mean? There's lots of different ways to approach it. But I can only speak from my experience. I cannot speak to someone else's experience of all that shit. I can only speak to mine. So that's what it was like for me. So yeah, that's why I think that you shouldn't knock it before you try it. And that is why I also believe that should what is this? Why I also believe that you must practice, especially if you're not someone that practices already. You will be surprised by the results that you will start to see once you start engaging in the process of practice. What's another thing that I feel like is underspoken about? Yeah, being able to surpass your own expectations, man. Um, I think trust yourself. Um, believe that you can do it. I know all this should be sounding like hella corny, but like swear down though, like nigga, believe in yourself, and don't be too hard on yourself if like the shit don't come like fast. You know what I mean? Um, because also sometimes when you take a look at other people around you, it can sometimes give you perspective. You know, like I was talking to my boy that I play Street Fighter with, and I was telling him that like it's very easy to forget that like if you're in master rank or you're close to master rank, you're already pretty fucking high up as far as general skill is concerned, right? If we talk about the general skill of like most players, the rank that is the most populated in the whole game is platinum. Specifically, platinum 1 is the most, well, at least. Let me fact check this information. Let me fact check. But yeah, the last time I checked, um, Buckler Academy. The last time I checked, yeah, the most saturated rank is platinum. So, you know what I'm saying? Um, we, uh, uh, oh, interesting. Okay, I think we found it now. Um, oh, mm, Oh. Okay, yeah. So there we go. This is even more perfect. Take a screenshot of this and put this up so niggas can see it. Okay. Here is image 2. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no 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 no. Ah, okay, I found the picture though. So show you what I mean when I talk about the distribution of like the ranks and shit like that, and why at times you would be surprised at oh screenshots folder. Give me a second. Give me a second. I'm almost there. Okay, I got it. All right. So here. I hope you niggas can see this shit. Hold up. Let me do this so I can see the thing like you guys can see it. Okay, yeah. So if you look, right, at the distribution of like the ranks, which is why I talked to my friend about the whole thing of like sometimes you don't even realize how competent you are at something because you don't have like the fucking um you don't have the awareness of like compared to other people how well you feel me. So anyway, I'm glad that I used fighting games and this fighting game has fucking data like this. So as you can see, um all of the ranks there have the amount of players that are there as well as how much of the overall player base is there. So rookie has 12.5%, iron has 20.65%, bronze has 18, silver 21, gold has 14, platinum has 10, diamond has 2%, and then master rank is basically less than 1%, right? So again, you know what I mean? I was even wrong. The most saturated rank is silver. It ain't even fucking plat, it's silver. That's the most saturated rank in the game, right? Or maybe in that region. Or yeah, whatever. I don't know. I didn't even fucking check if like whatever. But anyway, the point still stands. My point still like remains though about like the whole shit of like these characters and how much like you might be better than everyone else around you, right? So it's easy to think, hey, bruh, you know, whatever. There's probably like a whole lot of us until you start looking around at everyone really, and then you realize, hey, you know, there's actually a lot of more people that are in the lower ranks or you know might be below where you are, you know. So yeah, and that just goes to illustrate again the benefits of like practice. Um, and also don't get it twisted, bro. Niggas weren't fucking practicing every single fucking day for 3 years. Don't get it wrong. Like I was not practicing as much as I practice now. Like now, I'd say I'm taking more of a concentrated effort with like my time playing the game that I wasn't taking before. Before it was like I would just practice, but also in the ranks I was in before, you could really get to like diamond and all of that without having as much stuff as what I need now to make it in like master rank. Before it was like, yeah, dog, you could just practice a couple of more like you could learn advanced techniques on a basic level and that would be good enough to help you fight most people. But now it's starting to get to a point that you're like fighting the best of the best basically. And now it's like the gap between us even at the top is like huge. Even though it's like if you look at the rank specifically, it might not seem like it's a lot of points. But it's like the gap between you and like one of the other guys might be the gap between you and someone who's like far below your rank. So yeah. Anyway, the moral of the story is, nigga, practice. Practice. Don't knock it before you try it. And yeah, dog, you too shall be able to surpass your own expectations. Do I have a story time for this week? I already gave y'all niggas a story time. You know, that I used it at the beginning when I was talking about how everything was based off of like some fighting game shit that I've been dealing with, and like a conversation I had with like my boy and whatever on the phone. So use this information, and yeah, bro, go find something that you want to do. Go practice, go get competent at it. But don't be hard on yourself. But push yourself, you know what I mean? Yeah, dog, just keep trying. If there's something that you are thinking of like starting to do or whatever, you know what I mean? Something you've been interested in trying and whatever, get to doing that shit, bro. You want to make a song, you want to make a fucking video, want to edit a picture, go do that shit. You want to take some pictures, go do that shit. Don't be waiting also until you're super competent. I think also that's another thing I will say, is that you don't have to wait until only you're competent to like try creating some shit. You can create some shit anytime, bro. There are no like rules and whatever, or like boundaries. If you want to get better at fighting games though, yeah, nah, nigga, you know, there's definitely some shit you feel me, but whatever, that's like a topic for another time. But yeah, that's about it. That's pretty much the end of the show. That's all I have for today. Definitely tacked on a lot more than I expected. So a crucial part of like how I handle topics on the whole thing is that I usually just write like key words or key sentences about like what the topic is. So maybe I'll just have like a sentence, and then that kind of explains like what I want to talk about, and then I'll kind of just freestyle my way through it. As opposed to coming with a script and whatever, because I'm just like, man, I got time to write all this shit. I kind of be knowing what my thoughts are on like a certain subject and whatever, and then yeah, you know, I just come through, and then yeah, you know, it's all taken from like real life. So it's not like I'm using fucking other people's experience. I'm using my own life experience and like whatever. And yeah, it adds to the fun of the show. It's very great. Yeah, man. Do I even know why the reason is that I'm doing this show? I don't know. Guess I always wanted to do a radio show, man. Yeah, so I'm just doing that. All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, niggas and nigglettes. It was good. Yeah, that is another successful episode of the Open Source Radio Show. Hope that niggas learned some useful things today about themselves or just about another topic in general. Who knows? Maybe this conversation has awakened an interest in playing fighting games. To which, if it has, I would heavily suggest you try out Street Fighter 6. If it's not to your taste, I would suggest Tekken 8. I think those games have an easy entry, not a necessarily an easy entry. Not that they're super hard either, but like, yeah, I think they're good fighting games. Like, there's a lot of people playing the games. You don't have to be already like insane at the game to play it. You can be terrible and you'll do just fine. There's a lot of like active people playing the game, you know, like Street Fighter has Battle Hub, Tekken has the Fight Lounge, which is basically just a place people go to like fight each other and whatever. It's like, it looks like an arcade and whatever. Pretty cool stuff, man. If you do end up playing, any of these games. Let me know what character you end up playing. Let me know how your ranked experience goes if you do give it a try. And yeah. Also, if you decide to do some shit based on everything I said in this episode, let me know as well. Feel me? Let a nigga know what you decided to go pursue and what you decided to go practice. Let me know some shit that you were, you know what I'm saying? At first you was knocking it before you tried it, and then you tried it and you were like, man, you know what? This shit is hard. This shit is cool. I would love to hear about all of that shit. Let me know if you surpassed your own expectations. You know what I mean? Break your own limits, man. Yeah. If you believe you can achieve, man, put your mind to it. You can do whatever you want to do, bruh. Constraints are all in your fucking head, nigga. Yeah. Don't go do some dumb shit though. Don't like jump off a building or like something crazy like that. But that's about it, man. It was good. I hope that God or whatever entity you believe in continues to bless you. Yeah. Have empathy for yourself. Have empathy for those around you. Unless if they disrespect you, then yeah, you know, you can do what needs to be done. But yeah, have respect for everyone around you. Be kind to yourself. And yeah, man, you know, keep your head up. Keep your head up. As for me, this episode's done. I have the other episodes for this week locked and loaded. I'll basically have episodes every day till Friday. So yeah, you know, look out for those. Any departing words I'd like to leave you with? Still looking for a co-host, but not like a continuous co-host, like a kind of like a guest co-host, I guess, that can pop in every now and then. Still looking for that. Still need to get around to shooting the ad for that. But yeah, that's about it. Follow your dreams, nigga. Follow your dreams. Don't let the fact of you trying to do some normal stuff in life get in the way of like your dreams and shit, nigga. Still gotta entertain those dreams, buddy. Yeah. It's fucking 1 a.m. I'm tired as shit. It's been a long day. I played Street Fighter for like a couple hours, practicing shit, whatever. And then yeah, man. But now, you know, can finally wind down. Yeah. I'm gonna go roll up. And yeah, I'm gonna go hit the Zaza. Which is a perfect segue for an episode I'm gonna do later today, but you know, you'll find out later today. Yeah. Anyway, that's all from me. Goodbye, and yeah, thank you very much. Cheers.